Have you ever wondered what actually drives the decisions you make? Whether they're impulsive, creative, or cautious, your mind is always the first to speak. Every missed opportunity, every maybe next time, every safe step instead of a bold one. We like to think that these choices are fully ours. But the truth is that our brain is wired for one thing above all else: safety. Today I'm here to talk about the power of choice. Not something that's loud and dramatic, but something that's quiet and uncomfortable and often hidden beneath fear. We sometimes like to blame ourselves, our families, or even our circumstances when we regret not doing something. But what if the real reason was simpler? What if it wasn't you who chose the safest option, but your brain choosing it for you? Because before every brave decision, there is a conflicting voice in you. And the moment you start understanding the reasons behind that voice is when the power it has over you begins to fade. So you might be wondering, what is the reasoning behind this nature? Well, let me explain to you simply. Inside all of us is a tiny structure called the amygdala. Think of it as the brain's smoke alarm. The job isn't to be logical, it's to keep you alive. This, in return, triggers the fight or flight response. And let's all be very honest here. I think we're all aware that it loves to choose flight. However, the problem is that the amygdala thinks that everything foreign around you is danger. It makes you so hyper-aware, like a deer sensing a predator nearby. So for your brain, something unfamiliar equals to danger. The amygdala can sometimes rush in and overshadow the prefrontal cortex, making emotions louder than logic. That's when you start to overthink, imagine worst-case scenarios, and eventually convince yourselves not to do something, which makes us lose opportunities that could have done us better. So no, it's not lack of confidence, it's biology. But here's the important part. The amygdala speaks first, but it shouldn't decide last. I realized this when I was in Uzungul, Turkey. I spotted a place that offered paragliding, and instantly I was excited. I told my parents, I imagined the view, I was ready. But then came the moment. I was sitting in a van, heading up a mountain. I was about to jump off. Then suddenly, everything changed. My thoughts spiraled. This is insane. Why would anyone jump off a mountain? What if something goes wrong? My heart was racing. My hands were shaking. Adrenaline and cortisol flooding my body. And that's when it hit me. This wasn't me who was talking. No, this was my brain doing exactly what it was designed to do, to protect me by choosing the safest option. Fear was just a safety in disguise. So I did something very uncomfortable. I questioned that voice. I reminded myself that this was a once-in-a-lifetime experience and that fear did not mean danger, it meant unfamiliarity. And I chose to jump. The moment my feet left the ground, I felt free. The wind held me steady. The mountain stretched endlessly beneath me, calm and unmoving. The lake shimmered like glass. The world felt wide and quiet. Up there, the fear had disappeared. Not because it was wrong, but because it was no longer in control. I felt accomplished and grounded. This is why making choices matters even when we hesitate. Because the power of choice is always available to us, but we rarely grasp it. At the end of the day, we all need to learn how to take back control, to realize the value of the power of choice. But this isn't just about paragliding. This happens when we rewrite a message 10 times but never send it. Convince ourselves not to try something new. Stay silent in a room full of people. Delay a decision, telling ourselves later until later quietly becomes never. Choosing comfort over curiosity, safety over growth. In these moments, we don't lose opportunity, we lose choice. So the next time your mind says, don't do it, ask yourself one simple question. What's the worst that can happen? Choose the risk, choose the discomfort, choose to step outside your comfort zone, because more often than not, it's worth it in the end. Thank you.